Good morning, everybody. So finally, I only have to say good morning because we are all in Taiwan. So welcome to Taiwan. We have waited for probably 2 months to say this sentence, welcome to Taiwan. It's very difficult for us to make it happen, but we have two very important people to make it happen today, and they are going to give us some words. The first one is our Executive Director, Dr. Nadeau. Let's welcome him.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kevi. Yeah, we are really happy that you're here. Some of you actually may have landed this morning, I think. Anyway, it has been challenging to bring you here, and we are one of the few ETA programs in the world that is actually running this year. I shouldn't say few, about half. We are certainly the largest going right now, and it took a lot of effort on the part of my staff, as well as Ministry of Education and Ministry of Foreign Affairs to be able to bring you here. Thank you for putting up with quarantine. You'll find creative ways to use it, I'm sure. But I know also that you're leaving a lot behind. You might, the United States is still not over COVID. I know all of you have been affected personally in ways large and small by the pandemic, and that must be still a weight on your minds. But I hope that now that you're here, you will throw yourself into this experience, that you'll have a great year here in Taiwan, that I know you'll make a big impact on your communities, your schools, and that this experience will have a big impact on you. So welcome to Taiwan. We're here to support you, and I am very grateful to the ETA staff for all the planning that they've put into your orientation, and I hope you'll find it interesting and stimulating. Now I'd just like to introduce my colleague, the program director for the ETA program, Kelly Zhang. Kelly?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I wanted to express our sincere, warm welcome to you. I don't know whether you feel that or not. We have a very strong and a supportive team. I think they are the most important people in this program. And we really feel proud of you to be able to get here. Kevi said we waited 2 months, but I think we waited more than 2 months. I feel like it's been 2 years. So I hope you can bear with us, and I shouldn't say enjoy the quarantine, but just relax yourself, just take enough rest. And I think all of your students and the teachers, they are waiting for your arrival. They are very excited to meet you. So thank you for staying in the hotel, and thank you for all the effort you made with us. I feel that we are kind of like a very close teammate already, been through this horrible COVID nightmare. So I hope you will spend more time with our coordinators. They are very, I shouldn't say brave, but they will be the speaker today, and then they prepare a lot. They are multifunctional. They are going to share with you a lot of information, and they did a lot of preparations. And I just want to wish you well, and Hope to see you soon. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mito and Kelly. And then our first session is about Taiwan, because before you come to Taiwan, we think that it's too early to tell you that something related to Taiwan, because you have no you didn't really see anything for now. But now you are in Taiwan, so we have arranged several topics directly related to the situation in Taiwan and how you can live your life here. So the first topic is about natural disaster. That will be taught by our coordinator, Ina and Jill. Let's welcome them.
Hello guys, I am Ina and we have Jill online too. And now today we're going to talk about natural disasters. Can you all see my screen? My PowerPoint. Okay. So we have 4 natural disasters that we are going to introduce to you. So when you are in Taiwan, you might not meet all 4 disasters, but it's possible that you will feel a little bit similar to these situations. And first 2, my part, are earthquake and thunderstorm. So the first one is the most common one, which is earthquake. In Chinese, we call it 地震. 地震. Okay. And in Taiwan, especially on the East Coast, where earthquakes is very frequent, we are almost used to it. So people on the West Coast, or if you stay on a very high building, you might feel more nervous and anxious when it happens. But on the East Coast or in Taiwan, usually people feel quite safe if it's not super severe. I have to introduce a history in 1999, where when you were still a very little tiny kid, a very severe earthquake happened on September 21st. So it happens in Nantou, which is in the central Taiwan. All the buildings all collapsed, and I remember I was still a little kid and I was sleeping. I'm from Tainan, so I was in the south, but the shake was still very strong. So it was a very classic and remembered event in Taiwan. And from then on, we start to take earthquake and prevention seriously. So we start to have earthquake resistant building. Almost all of the buildings in Taiwan have this rule, and they have to follow the resistant rules to build the buildings. The classic example in Taiwan is Taipei 101. It is one of the tallest building in the world, and because it's very tall, so we have to seriously follow the rules to build the building. And let me explain real quick how this happens in Taiwan. So we have different plates, and they kind of move and collapse together, and that's why we have high mountains in Taiwan, but it also brings a lot of earthquakes, especially on the East Coast. But ETAs, if you're staying on the East Coast, please do not panic, because our buildings are quite safe, and we coordinators found safe dorms for you. These are a form that you can, just for your reference, that we have different measures of the earthquakes. Usually, if it's below 5, should be okay. Sometimes if you're walking or moving around, you cannot feel the earthquake. Like I'm in Taidong, I'm Taidong coordinator. Like in Taidong, some minor earthquakes happens a lot, but usually I am walking to the bathroom or walking to my scooter. And then people around me was like, well, there was just a earthquake happen. And I was like, oh, it did? Like I didn't feel it at all. But if it's 5 or more, you should feel it stronger. So we need to do some prevention before the earthquake. You need to learn how to do something in advance so that you will know how to cope with the situation. First, you need to learn how to turn off gas, tap water, and electricity lines. If you have gas in your dorm, you need to know how to turn off it, and then you need to keep your objects, especially big furniture. If it's heavy, you need to make sure that it's firmly secured, and you need to put heavy or fragile objects on the lower layers, because when it shakes, maybe the things would fall out and it may become sharp pieces. And you need to keep an emergency kit in your house. These are the things that you should keep it inside. Gloves, in case that you need to move something and it has sharp pieces around. First aid, of course, if you get hurt. And poncho, in case you need to escape or run away outside and it rains. And water, of course, if you're trapped indoor and you need some food and water to keep you survive. And clothes. Sometimes it runs out of electricity and you don't have like fan or heat indoor, so you need some more clothes, and because it might also run out of water and you cannot shower. And radio, this is very important because you need to turn it on to keep yourselves updated on the situation. Like the news might report there might be another place for people to gather in a safe shelter. And batteries, it's mainly for your flashlight, because again, we don't have electricity. It might be very dark at night. And then whistle if you want to call for help. So now the earthquake happens, and what do you do? First of all, you need to calm down. So it's normal that you feel nervous and panic and don't know what to do. But you need to tell yourself that you need to calm down right now, because when you calm down, your brain will tell you what to do, what's the right thing to do next. So if you're in your house, in your dorm, you might encounter this situation when earthquake happens. So now, can you tell me what's dangerous in this situation? You can either type in the chat box or turn off your microphone. How do I see? Okay, falling objects, heavy objects or furniture, falling the stove, falling knives, that's very dangerous. Okay, so sharp pieces, and like from here, we have big TV falling, and all the dinnerwares falls into pieces. There's big pots. It might has very hot soup inside this pot, and knives. So this boy, he is hiding himself under a big table, which is the right thing to do because it helps him keep himself away from this sharp pieces, broken screen from this television. And also if this, like this microwave falls, it might hit him. So it's important that you find a shelter like a big table, a big firm table, and you hide yourself under it. And it's very important that you protect your head. Okay, so find a solid desk or a pillar which is clear above. There's nothing above, like there's no shelf on the wall or something. Stand or stay by the firm pillar, and also hide yourself under a solid desk. And stay away from windows because it might be broken, and heavy furniture because when it falls, you might be trapped. And if you have time, turn off gas and electricity. Now you're in your room and earthquake happens. Now can you tell me what's dangerous in this picture? Glass window, falling books, too close to the window. That's right, not under anything. Furniture falling, only use a blanket to protect himself, yes. Yes, so in this situation, it's better that you hide like in this angle corner, if there's no shelf or anything above. Like this guy, he moved his bed in this corner so that he can hide here, which is okay. But also, like you mentioned, it's too close to the window. So if the window breaks, the falling pieces might hurt him. And also a blanket is not safe. So it's better that he grabbed like a big book and cover his head. And it's not wise to hide yourself under the bed because the bed is too low. And if it's broken, it's very possible that you are stuck and trapped under your bed. And also avoid being close to your big furniture, like this closet. And this painting is also very dangerous. If it has a glass screen, it's very possible that it breaks. So now if you have time and if it's possible for you to run out of the house, make sure that you wear shoes. Slippers are okay because like the pictures you just saw, the falling pieces on the ground can hurt your feet. So make sure that you wear shoes when you run away. And now because you're all becoming teachers, and in school, we might also encounter earthquakes. So in this picture, I'm not going to ask you what's dangerous, but in this picture, you can see all the students are hiding themselves under the tables, which are a safe thing to do. But this teacher, I think he needs to protect himself first, and then check the student's safety next. So only a book covering his head is not safe enough. Usually in Taiwan, our how do you call this big table, it's hollow inside. a person can hide him or herself underneath it. So if you're on the stage or in the front of the classroom, you can hide yourself in this big wooden table. Or usually there are small tables in the front of the classroom. You can also hide yourselves under these tables. And make sure that your students are under their tables. So in classroom, usually there's a big television hanging on the ceiling. So you have to take care of your students and make sure that they don't hide themselves close under the area because it's possible that the television falls. In Taiwan, we have this banana hat for the kids to protect their head. It is not safe for all of the situations, but it can protect them from falling pieces, like sharp pieces, glass pieces. And this is a picture when they do drills, and they have to wear the hat and then run out of the classroom and gather in an open, wide outdoor area. So this is a drill. Do you think the kids are doing the right thing? You can type in the chat box. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, of course, they are doing the right thing. They hide themselves under their tables and they hold on to the table so that this table doesn't move that much. So they secure their shelter. But this kid is not wearing his banana hat. So the procedure is that you find shelter. It's not only at school, also in your dorm or anywhere indoor. Find a shelter first. Cover yourself under the shelter and sustain the shelter in order to protect yourself. So this girl is doing a very standard protection. She hides herself under this table and hold on to the table and lower her head. At this point, your head is the most important part of your body to be protected. So in this picture, her head is more important than her lower body. The table is not big enough in school for kids, but this girl is doing a very standard demonstration. When you're outdoor, when the earthquake happens, the big buildings, tall buildings, especially in big cities where the buildings are covered with glass, make sure that you protect your head. Use your backpack, your jacket, or if you have books, use anything that can protect your head. And also walk away, run away from those tall buildings. Also avoid cliffs or rivers or shores, because at this point landslides might happen, especially when it rains during the earthquakes. Landslides can be very severe. Now the earthquakes finally ends, and now you have to do something. You have to wait until it stops so that you move or get out of the house. And the first thing is to make sure that you have signal or you have your radio, and also you can reach out to your coordinator and report your safety. So when you cannot have Wi-Fi, your coordinator's phone number at this point is very important. So not only add your coordinator as your line friend, also save their numbers in your phone. So now you're in the house, make sure that you open all the doors to be your exits when you escape. And also check the furniture, check the wall if there are cracks on it, because there might be another earthquake comes along, and when it happens, if the wall is already cracked, that means the structure of the building is already broken. So when another earthquake happens, or in the future if another earthquake happens, the house might collapse very quickly. Also check the gas, the windows, the wires, and AC if they're all off, and if the like the lines or pipes are broken, or these furnitures are loosened or damaged, because like AC, it might explode, or wires might also have fire. And also, like I mentioned, turn on your radio for emergency instructions or disaster reports. You will need to know like how severe your place or other places, because you need to know where you are gonna escape and where you can call for help, and which people you can seek help. During evacuation, take the stairs because the elevators can be stuck. And be careful of the aftershock, like the second earthquake might come along. So if the aftershock or another earthquake comes along very soon, you need to do all the procedure I just mentioned again. Find a shelter and protect your head. And you're all in the quarantine. Make sure that, of course, you're allowed to escape. You don't have to stay indoor all the time, but make sure that you wear a face mask. COVID doesn't rest during earthquake. And now, the second thing I am introducing is thunderstorm. In Chinese, we say 豪雨. 豪雨. So what's a thunderstorm? It's short, sharp, and shocking. And it usually happens in summertime, also comes with typhoons. We're going to introduce typhoons later. So if you're indoor, make sure that you close all the windows, because the water might come in. And also keep your objects like your phone or anything that needs electricity high, because the building might be flooded, especially in the central area of Taiwan. Your house might be flooded, so you need to keep precious belongings high above. When you're outdoor, if you can, avoid scootering. If you need to scooter, avoid the white lines when you're on the road, because these white lines can be very slippery and it's very hard to control your scooter. In my previous ETA once scootered on these white lines, and then she got into a scooter accident, and she had a few stitches on her arm. So it really happens. So please avoid these white lines, not just during thunderstorm, but also when it rains. And also avoid power lines and broken cables. If it has water on these broken cables, fire could happen. And next we have Jill.
Hello, it's my turn now. I'm going to introduce the typhoon. We are in the typhoon season now. So, but What click next? Ina, next. Okay, what are typhoons? Typhoons are the same weather phenomenon as your hurricanes, and they are both called tropical cyclones. In the Western Pacific, they are called typhoons, while in the Eastern Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, they are called hurricanes. Next. So when is the typhoon season in Taiwan? Can you type in the chat box? Summer. So, Ina, can you click? Okay, typhoon usually occur between June and December, with the highest number of weather watches coming in August and September, which is now. Next. So, according to the wind speed, there are 4 types of typhoon intensity. But in Taiwan, we don't call a tropical depression a typhoon, but we have 3 kinds of typhoon. From a mild typhoon, the wind speed is from 17.2 to 32.6 meters per second, to a moderate typhoon from 32.7 to 50.9 meters per second, to a severe typhoon. It's over 51 meters per second. Next. But let me tell you how to prepare for a typhoon. Usually before a typhoon, the news will talk about the typhoon, so you can expect it's coming. First, you have to make sure that your house should ready enough to encounter expected strong winds and flash floods. Any damage found should be repaired and fixed immediately, like your roof, doors, windows, and the ceilings. And second, it's advisable to close all windows and the doors tightly before a typhoon. If you have shutters, they should be closed. It's also a good idea to take down your washing pole and store it safely. If you have one that is balanced on the hooks on your balcony or is otherwise movable, you should also take them down. And also for your bikes and scooters, they should be secured. You can either move inside or store in a safe place. And make sure that you have enough water and food supplies for at least like 2 days or 3 days. And you have to always stay in store during the storm. And as Ina have introduced, the handy emergency kit is usually the similar thing that they should be packed. So the emergency disaster kit is also very helpful during the storm, during the typhoon. And you should keep yourself updated with the latest weather report. Next. Usually during the typhoon, we will get a day off, but it depends on the counties to announce typhoon day off or not. And also the time for county government to announce is also varied. Your coordinator will let you know when there's a time that there's a day off, but when there's typhoon, but there's no day off, you still have to go to school. It could be pouring or windy outside. You have to pay attention to your safety when going to your school. Like as Ina have just mentioned, that you should avoid the white lines on the road. Next. And what should you do after a typhoon? After a typhoon, it's better to stay at home until the authorities have confirmed that it's safe to go outside. You can check the news and the social medias for updates. When you go out after typhoon, you should avoid mountains, seaside, or riverside activities, and watch out the fallen trees, poles, or power lines. If the outside of your accommodation is damaged, you should take photos and report them to your coordinators. Next, I want to introduce a terrible case happened in 2009. It's called Typhoon Morakot. According to the statistics, the disaster resulted in 677 deaths, 4 severely injured, and 22 missing, as well as additional 25 bodies that were not identified, a total of 725 cases in this typhoon. And the record-breaking rain also caused catastrophic agricultural losses, and also as the tourism losses. And many people did not have power, and also they did not have water pressure. Next. The typhoon caused many damages in Taiwan. The Shaolin village is a mountain in Kaohsiung with 1,300 residents in Jiaxian Township was buried by a massive landslide and subsequent flood that destroyed the town, and also resulted in 465 deaths. It was reported that all roads toward Namasha Township, is also in Kaohsiung, were either blocked or washed away by severe mudslides. Hundreds of residents were trapped for 4 days and was running out of food and water. In addition, water and electricity had been cut. And also a 6-story Jinshen Hotel was destroyed in Zhiben Hot Spring area, that is in Taichung. It collapsed into the Zhiben River after being undermined by flood water. Next. Okay, I want to show you a video about the Typhoon Morakot. Ina, don't forget to turn on your camera when you play the video. Thank you.
Okay. Now, can you all see? Can you hear? Okay, no sound? Yes, okay.
And yeah, actually there's no sound. Oh, because you put on your earphones, so that's why they cannot play. Never mind.
现在呢？ It's okay that you cannot hear the sound because it's a very like sentimental music. I remember when I saw the news every day from the television, I felt really sad, and my mom also cried when she saw these pictures and videos on TV. Hi, Mai.
Okay, Taiwan normally get hit hard by 3 to 4 typhoons each year between the month of June and October. But last year marked the first time since 1964 that the typhoon did not hit Taiwan. Fewer typhoons are hitting Taiwan. The reduced storm activity may be the result of high water temperature and the changes in upper atmosphere winds. But do you think it's a blessing that no typhoon came to Taiwan? Do you think it's a good thing? Can you type in the chat box? Do you think it's a blessing for Taiwanese people? Yeah, actually it's go back. Yeah, actually it's not. Go back. Okay. During the rainy season, if there are no typhoons or rainfall and plum rain season for short of expectation, there is a high likelihood of a drought. There were only 661 millimeters of rainfall from June to November last year. That was an all-time low compared with the average annual rainfall in the period of 1,635 millimeters. So typhoons bring destruction, as you have seen the case Typhoon Marakat, but they also bring one significant benefit, that is torrential rains. Rainfall is inconsistent throughout the year in Taiwan, and the nation relies heavily on reservoirs, which supply the majority of water for household and industry, as well as 30% of water for irrigation. Okay, next. Here is if you want to know more about the typhoon news, you can visit the Central Weather Bureau website. And next. You can also download the Taiwan Weather app on your phone. We will share the slides with you, and you can scan the QR code. Next. Okay, actually the above information is were we prepared for in the beginning of this year. So what happened? Next. So we had a drought in April this month. Well, what is a drought? A drought is a period of time when an area or region experiences below normal precipitation. The lack of adequate precipitation, either rain or snow, can cause reduced soil moisture or groundwater, diminished stream flow, crop damage, and the general water shortage. Droughts are the second most costly weather event after hurricanes. Okay, when Typhoon Marakat hits indigenous village in Taiwan's mountain 11 years ago, we were stunned at the devastation. The mountain forest landscape changed overnight. In the blink of an eye, the forest, river, valley went bare. It was a terrible sight. The dike broke and the Qishan township in Kaohsiung was completely swept away. But as global temperature rise due to planet warming emissions, something odd is happened in Taiwan. The typhoon appeared to gradually disappear. We usually have 3 to 4 typhoons a year, but since 2010, the number making landfall has fallen to 2.5 a year on average. So last year, we didn't even have a single typhoon for the first time in more than half a century. So, but we need typhoon because the typhoon meet half of Taiwan's annual water needs. So it lead to the worst drought in 50 years. Many of our reservoirs are at less than 20% capacity, with water level at some falling below 10%. Not only the global warming caused the water shortage, but also the leaky pipes, low water price, and the less water use habits contributed to the water shortage. Do you know how cheap our water is? But can anyone guess? Okay, actually, we enjoy the cheapest water in East Asia. We only pay for 9.2 per unit on average, so it's very cheap. So Taiwanese usually tend to take water resources for granted. Next. Since there were no typhoons and little rains last year, so we didn't have enough water for everyone to use. Here comes a water rationing starting from April this year. Miaoli, Taichung, and the northern Changhua areas have been in the red drought monitoring signal since April 6th. So the government implement the intermittent supply by district measure, which means that you can only get 5 water supply per week and 2 days cut off. But in order to mitigate the inconvenience and the impact on people's use of water, the government also provide the water stations in those 3 areas. The drought. Yes, the electricity and water bills are relatively cheap compared to other countries, especially water. And the drought doesn't get eased until the plum rains came in June. Next. Here is the drought monitoring signal in April 2020. Like you can see the East Coast, we have blue color, which means that the water supply are normal. But for the green line means that the tight water supply situation. For the yellow one means that you will get the water pressure reduced. For the orange line means that the water supply quantities will be lowered. But as I told you, in Miaoli, Taichung, and the northern Changhua, they are in red color, which means that they can only get intermittent water supply by district. Next. Here is the government's countermeasures for the drought that you can take a look later when you have the slides. Okay, next. Unlike the typhoons or the earthquakes, like it's only happen like during the short period of time. But for the drought, it usually lasts for a period of time, like at least 1 month, 2 months, or even longer. So you have, what you can do is to save water. Like for the next session, the other coordinators will tell you how to wash your hands during the pandemic. That hand washing is one of the best measure to prevent the pandemic prevention. So, but there are 3 steps, but the important part is that don't forget to turn off the faucet to save the water. Okay, so here is the end of the presentation. Thank you everyone for joining our session. Do you have any question about the typhoon or earthquake? If not, we will take a 7 minutes break. Please come back at 10:30. Some coordinators will give you the information about the COVID-19. Okay. Thank you. You don't have to leave. You can just turn off your camera and turn on again. Thank you, everyone. See you later. See you soon.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Please come back and turn on your camera if it's okay. Okay. Good to see you. Can you hear me well? If yes, please give me like some up. Okay, great. So now I'm going to share my screen. Wait me a second. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay, wait a second. Okay, so good morning. And today we will talk about COVID-19 precaution. And at the very beginning, I would like to introduce my teammates. So they're Henry Yang, Elan coordinator.
Hello.
Okay, and Joyce, she's our Elan coordinator.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, and myself, I'm Ariel, and I am administrative specialist, and mainly I'm based in Taipei office. Okay, so actually you have received a lot of emails from me. Okay, and so today we will talk about some regulations about COVID-19. And as you know, the CDC regulations change all the time. So we will talk about some update regulations to you and go through some basic knowledge. And we will talk about these 4 parts. First one will be quarantine and self-house management and regulations you should know. And the last one, we will talk about differences between level 2 and level 3. First one, quarantine. So mainly all of you are in the quarantine hotel right now. And during the quarantine, you have to take the at-home COVID test on day 12. Okay, so on day 10, you will receive a CDC text message to tell you, oh, you have to do the at-home COVID test. And there will be a video to show you how to do it. And you can just follow the instructions. And after day 12, you have to report the test result to the police. And on day 14, so before you leave the quarantine hotel, you have to take a COVID PCR test, okay? And different locations have different ways to do that. So for example, in Taipei, there will be a bus stop at your quarantine hotel, and you can just do the COVID test on the bus, okay? And in Kaohsiung, Taichung, and Hualien, there will be a taxi to drive you to the hotel, drive you to the hospital and take you back to the hotel, okay? And because of different location, the expense for transportation and testing fee are different. So it's about $300 to $1,500. But you don't have to worry about this part. So FSC will reimburse you the expense. Okay, so if you don't have enough cash, you can tell your coordinator and we will help you to fix the problem. And on the test, on that day, you have to prepare your passport and not ARC, sorry. So you can only prepare your passport and show them, like they will check your name and also some informations. And after 14 days of quarantine, you will have to do like 7-day self-house management. So FSC will arrange a car for you to drive you to the next location for self-house management. So the next location might be your apartment in your site or another hotel. Okay, so the coordinator will tell you the confirmed location and pickup time to you in later days. And so when coordinator tell you the meetup time, you have to wait at the hotel lobby on time, okay? And we understand that you might be very excited when you see other people, okay? But try your best to control yourself. Do not talk to others. Okay, you have to wear the mask and keep the social distance. So we will tell you the social distance later. Okay, remember, do not gather with other people. And As you know, some people may be infected by the coronavirus with no symptoms. So it is very important for you to follow the regulations to protect yourself and other people. So you can see there are some to do and not to do. So I think everyone knows you have to wear the mask all the time when you leave your room, and you have to take the body temperature every morning and night. Okay, and you have to wash your hands with soap and keep the contact record when you go out. Okay, so this is for the self-house management. And also you have to keep the social distance. Indoor is about 1 meter and outdoor is 1.5 meter. So you can imagine there will be 2 arms, okay, between you and other people. So just remember you have to keep 2 arms distance. And not to do, during the self-house management, you cannot go to the public area such as supermarkets or restaurant, and you cannot take the public transportation. So that's why we will arrange a car for you to drive you to the next location for self-house management. And you cannot go to the hospital and clinic unless you feel uncomfortable, and you can call your coordinator at the first when you feel uncomfortable. And this is very important, so I want to tell you, you have to keep the social distance and interact with the same group of people. The reason to ask you to do so is that if any of you are test positive, the whole group of people who have contact with you have to get quarantined again, even though you have gotten vaccinated. So that's why we want you to control yourself, do not gather with lots of people, okay? And so now, wake up, okay? I want to have some interaction with you. So please type your answers in the chat box. So actually, I cannot see the chat box. So maybe Henry, can you check the chat box for me later?
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is, you have to wear what when you go outside? A, B, C, which one? Ah, I can see my chat box now. Okay, A. That's right, very easy, right? You have to wear the mask when you go outside. And next one. When should you wash your hands with soap? A, B, C, D, which one? E, yes, okay. And which one is correct? So this might be a little bit difficult. Make a guess. Which one is correct? A, D, A. Okay. Yes, so the correct one is A. You have to keep at least 2 arms distance with other people. And so for B, you cannot sit right next to your roommate while eating, okay? You have to keep that distance. And you cannot take the public transportation during the self-house management. And you cannot have dinner with your friends at a restaurant, okay? And the last one, so the minimum fines will be 60,000 NTD, and maximum fine will be 300,000 NTD, which means it will be 10,000 USD dollars. So you have to keep it in mind, okay? Do not go to the public area. Do not go to a restaurant, okay? During the self-house management. And this one, so I have mentioned that you have to keep a contact record during the self-house management. You have to take the body temperature every morning and night. So you have to keep this record. And this Google form will shared by your coordinators in later days. Okay, so if you have any question about how to fill out the forms, you can ask your coordinators. So next, I would like to welcome Henry.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm EN coordinator Henry, and I'm going to share some information about vaccines, like what we know about COVID-19 vaccine so far. As we know, they are safe and effective at preventing COVID-19, including like severe illness and death. But for Delta variant, the research shows that they are only able to protect you from getting severe disease and death, but it doesn't mean you are fully protected from vaccines. Therefore, you are still likely to get infection, but you don't know because you might be mild symptom. Next one, information about vaccine. So can I still transmit COVID-19 after vaccination? Can you leave your answer in the chat box? Yes, there's no evidence that any of current COVID-19 vaccine can completely stop people from being effective. That's the reason why you still need to have 14 days quarantine and also 7 to 8 days self-health management to prevent from spreading the virus to the others. And people who have a condition or are taking medication that weaken the immune system should continue to take all precautions recommended for unvaccinated people, especially your students, because they are all under 12 and unable to get vaccinated. So you know the answer, right? Next one. This one is, how do I protect myself and others? As we mentioned earlier, infections still happen in people who are fully vaccinated or unvaccinated. So what you should do, keep doing after fully vaccinated. First one, you need to follow the rules and guidance at any places you go in Taiwan, such as shopping mall, supermarket, and also 7-Eleven. Next one, next one, watch out for symptoms of COVID-19, especially if someone is sick around you. And if you have any symptoms of COVID-19, please see a doctor and stay home and stay away from others. Next slide. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to wash your hand. Do you know how many seconds you have to wash your hand? How many seconds? 45? You may have heard about washing your hand with soap and warm water. Okay, the answer is 20 seconds. So why do we do that? Some germs might be hidden in your hand and you might not even notice. So please make sure you follow these 7 steps. And I'm going to teach you how to wash your hand with these 7 steps. So show me your hand and follow me. Okay, first step, pawns here. And back of your hand, gets between fingers. And also back of fingers as well. Follicle here, like this way. And fingertip. Last one, wrist. So each step take around 3 seconds. In Chinese, we call 内外夹攻大力丸。内外夹攻大力丸。Okay, next one. And do you know how many times you touch your face per hour? Do you know how many times? Can you guess? Too many. So according to the study at a university in Australia, we typically touch our face 23 times per hour, which means we touch our face around like 400 times per day. But how can we avoid touching our face all the time? Basically, it's very hard not to touch your face. So that's the reason why you need to wash your hand frequently with soap. Next one. Number 3, you have to take your temperature. You are strongly encouraged to take your temperature twice a day, even after finish quarantine hotel. And especially when you feel you are under the weather or you might get sick. So when your temperature is over 37.5, which means you have to contact your coordinator and see a doctor as soon as possible. Next one. Keep social distance. As Ariel mentioned earlier, try to keep social distance whenever you go, even indoor, outdoor. So indoor, you have to keep 1 meter, outdoor, you have to keep 1 meter outdoor, and indoor, you have to keep 1.5 meters. Next one. Okay, I'm going to show you how to wear mask properly. Here are 4 steps to wear the mask properly. First one, all right, open your mask. Then second one, just place loop over your ears like this way. And make sure metal is here, metal edge on your nose bridge. And you have to extend it, cover your mouth and nose. And step 3, just pinch here. Pinch the metal edge on your nose bridge. 4, ensure all sides of mask fit your face. Next one. Keeping healthy is the most important part of your life. Physically, get at least 7 hours sleep and eat healthy food. So don't get G-pie, bubble tea every day, all right? For mental health, try to be active and managing the personal stress. You can try to do some yoga and also sport, meditation, which help you relax physically and mentally. Next one. Oh, let's welcome Joyce to talk about regulation you should know.
Oh, actually, it's me.
It's you?
It's me again. Okay. So, yeah, so I will talk about some regulations. Okay, so the first one will be the community. So if you live in the community with a superintendent who can help you receive the mails or like package, usually they will set up a table or like an area on the first floor lobby. You can see the photos, and so they will help you to receive the food deliveries. Okay, and so during this time, the visitors are unable to get into the buildings, so they will leave the like Foodpanda or Uber Eats on the table. And for the public facilities will be closed, like swimming pools or gyms will be closed. And if you live in an individual apartment, like there is no superintendent, sorry, you have to protect yourself on your own, okay? And you have to change your clothes and wash your hands after you enter your apartment. And you have to reduce the body contact with your roommate. So no fighting during the self-house management. And your coordinator will prepare some hygiene products for you to clean the shared area, like living room or kitchen. So you have to clean it every day, okay? And of course, if you order some Foodpanda or like Uber Eats, it is better for you to pick up the food on the first floor, okay, outside the apartment. About the school, so currently there is no parents or visitors allowed to get into the school, and teachers are required to take the vaccine before the school starts. So if teachers don't take a vaccine or took vaccine less than 14 days, they have to show a negative PCR test to the school, and they have to take the rapid test every 7 days. Okay, and if there's one case found in one classroom, in one case, the class have to will be suspended for 14 days. And if one school has 2 confirmed cases, the whole school will be suspended for 14 days. Okay, and for your information, currently the government start to arrange the junior to senior high student to take the BNT vaccine. Since we're talking about the school, we'll talk about some pros and cons about the online teaching and in-person teaching. So you can see the weakness of online teaching. For example, students do not show up, or like there are some short-sighted cases increased recently. And actually, the school this semester, the school start from September 1st, and all the students and teachers are back to the school already. And to protect the students and teachers, there are many regulations you have to follow. And you can see the photo during the lunchtime. There will be a board next to you, like they will protect you. And next one, I will talk about the transportation. So passengers are required to wear a mask all the time, or the transit companies are able to refuse providing the service for you. And if your body temperature is higher than 38 degrees Celsius, you cannot take the transportation. You have to take some rest. Okay, and the third one is you have to scan a QR code. So this part Joyce will talk about more detail later. And during this time, some public areas are closed, like water fountains, and some dancing areas are closed right now. And for the train and high-speed rail, you have to wear the mask and scan the QR code. So the regulations are about the same, but please know the third one. So currently, people are not allowed to buy non-reserved tickets, which means there is no standing tickets right now. Okay, so Joyce.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, thank you, Harry and Aria. Now it's really my turn. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the basic regulation, and also this can be the things you have to do. So there are 5 basic regulations, and these things we have to do every day, every time you go out. I think I do almost a dozen times every day. So first is wear the mask. Every time you go out, you leave the house, you have to wear the mask and keep the distancing from the others. So when you go to places or you get into a building, you have to implement the real name, the registration, and also your temperature will be checked, and hand sanitizer is provided everywhere for you to clean your hands. So if you don't wear the mask in Taiwan, when you go out, you will reject to get into the building. And if your temperature is checked over 37.5 degrees, you are not allowed to enter the building as well. So now I'm going to talk about what the real name, the registration. Next slide, thank you. Okay. In Taiwan, you will see this icon everywhere. So this is CECC icon. It's a Central Epidemic Command Center. And the real name registration is tracing systems. It's an app that you can download from your phone. So every time you go to the store, for example, if you go to the 7-Eleven, you can use the app to scan the QR code. Just like Ariel, she just mentioned, scan the QR code. So you have to download the app. And the app is not to record your personal information. It's a contact tracing systems. So it will record where your SIM card have been. It's to pretend to prevent in case some outbreak. or someone is tested positive COVID-19 and they can be to be the test. Okay, next slide, please. See, you can see here. So if you don't know how to download the app from your phone, your coordinator will help you and show you how to do it. And if you don't have a phone with you when you go to the shop, when you visit somewhere else, it is okay because the shop or the restaurant, they also provide the register book for you before you enter the store. So you have to record your name, your contact number, and the time to visit the place, and also record your temperature as well. So in Taiwan, we do the 5 procedures almost every day, maybe over 10 times, 5 times, depending on the places you visit. Okay, please, the next slide it doesn't follow my speed. Okay, here is the register book. You have to use that, just write down something. And some people would worry about, oh, it is not a hygiene to use the pen, the common, the pen everyone used. So also provide a hand sanitizer for you. Okay, so this is in Taiwan, we are the real name registration. Next. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the differences between the level 2 and level 3. Actually, there are 4 epidemic alert. There are actually it's 4 levels. And at the level 4, that is totally locked down, just like some countries in Europe. So luckily, Taiwan, we haven't had that in Taiwan yet. But today, I want to talk about the 2 levels, level 2 and level 3, because the 2 levels has really a great effect to our lives. Taiwan went up to level 3 in May, but luckily now we dropped down to level 2. Our lives have gradually more open, but still there are some regulations you have to remember. As you can see from the 2 charts, there are so many words, but it's easy to tell. It's focused on the policies of the mask and some gathering. So I have to divide into the 3 parts. The first one is the policy of the masks, and second one is dining, and the third one is for the gathering. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the mask. Slide. Okay, it's kind of confused to wear a mask at all times. Actually, it's not. It's very easy to tell. You just remember at level 3, except use that at home. When you get out, you have to wear a mask all the time, even in a car. If there are more than 1 person in the car, you have to wear a mask as well. Normally, you are a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or married couple, you all have to wear a mask. A married couple in a car at level 3, the wife just feel thirsty. They took off the mask and have a drink and they got fine. So level 3 is very strict. It's to have a strict regulation for the mask wearing. But level 2, when you go out, you still have to wear a mask. But the mask is allowed to take off a while you eat and drink. So differences is level 2, you are allowed to eat, drink in public. But when you finish your meal, you have to put it back. So here's one thing remind you, for the public transportation, such like HSR, this high-speed railway in Taiwan, or TRA, just like national trains or some buses, it's still not allowed eating or drinking. So you have to remember this part. And the next one is for the dining. What I'm talking about the dining, because we all like to eat out. At level 3, all restaurants closed. It's not covered closed. It means they don't provide indoor dining. So you can only do just a take away or do the home deliveries. So at this time, no eat out in a restaurant, no sports, no entertainment. You don't have to go to school because of online teaching. The only thing you can do is just stay home, watch Netflix, or cook by yourself. I'll mention that about cook. At level 3, we're still allowed to go out to do shopping, I suggest you do the shopping list or make it a to-do list, do the most things that you need to do or shop the things you have to buy at one time and reduce the time to go out. Now we have a back to level 2. So I think because we in different cities, different counties have different regulations, but now many restaurants have the starting of just provide indoor dining now. For the restaurant, they have the responsibility to provide a safe environment for the customers who dine in the restaurant. Of course, they have to follow. At the very beginning, I mentioned the 5 basic regulation, just like a temperature checking or real name, the registration, scan QR code, something like this. Even the staff, they all have to wear the mask all the time. And the customers only allowed to take over the mask when they start eating. So how do restaurants to provide a safe environment for customers? First of all, they provide partitions or called dividers, just like a cupboard to separate 2 people. And also they provide a designated seat for the customers to keep the space between 2 people. So when you go to the restaurant, you could see the many crosses on chairs, on tables. That is for to keep the distance between the 2 people. So I hope everyone's really enjoyed the good food in a safe environment. And the next one is slide. Okay, let's go to the gallery now. And the gallery at level 3 is very strictly limited under 5 people in a room, and outdoor is 10. So, but the indoor, the 5 people doesn't include a family living together because it's very common for Taiwanese families with 2 or 3 generation living together. I haven't made 4 generations living together. There are over 20 people. That doesn't count even include your roommate. I think there was a case that happened in Iran. I think that was in Iran. 14 people participating a bureau, they got caught and okay, fined individually. So luckily we are not level 3 now. We are at level 2. So indoor is allowed 80 people and outdoor is 300 people. Still, we have to follow the basic regulation. So for the organizers to organize events, they have to decide entrances. They have to control the entrances and also set up the checkpoint to check people's temperature, have to really follow the rules, and also have to they have to design a very clear sign to show the people where to go. As you can see from the pictures, there is I think that is the basketball game or something. People between the people, they have the big space. It's indoor 1.5 meters away. As for the food policy, I think this depends on events occasions. So if you are invited to go to an event, you had a better check from the organizers about the food policy. I just checked from a teacher 2 days ago, and she went to a workshop that was about 50 people workshops, and that was a whole day workshop. So they provide lunch. And when the teacher, she got her biandang is a lunch box. They also gave her a divider to separate her, to protect her from the others. Okay, so the gallery. I hope the information we provide is really useful and would help you much easier to live in Taiwan. So last, there are some reminders to remind you. And oh, sorry, I skipped the most important part because the slide doesn't follow my speed. Fine, that's really important. The Taiwanese government take it very serious for whoever violates the policies. For the mask, if you don't wear the mask or you don't wear the mask well, you will be fined 100 to 500 US dollars. And for the gathering, it be even more expensive, up to 2,000 US dollars. Okay, finally, let's go to the reminders. First, wear the mask all the time, keep the social distance from the others. Avoid going to the crowded space. If you are inside your room, open the door, open the windows, keep the good circulation. And now many of you stay in a quarantine hotel. Please check your window because in Taiwan summer, the AC, we all turn on the AC. When you turn on the AC, you also have to keep your window open about this gate. It is about a feet wide, but we suggest a little longer, a little bit about a gap. So please check your window. If your windows are totally closed, please open wide a little bit. Keep the room good circulation. And wash your face more frequently. Wash your hand with the soap at least 20 seconds, particularly when you get home from the outside. Wash your hand and also change your clothes. Next one, when you cough, when you sneeze, cover your mouth. If you don't have a tissue in hand, cough and sneeze at your elbow. And clean and disinfected the surface to be touched the most. For example, like light switches, doorknobs, your keyboards, or the surface of the desks or tables, and monitor your health condition. If you feel uncomfortable, for example, like high fever, no fever, just a fever, 37.5 degrees, you're gonna be careful. You have a dry cough and also the difficult breathing, first contact your coordinators. They will help you. I will help my crew as well, and then go to the hospital. Okay, so now we are going to have a little test to see how much you can remember. It's time to prepare your phone and search Kahoot. Okay, can you see the PIN number? 2466624. The ETA who got it first will get a kiss from Harry.
Kiss?
Or Ariel. Okay, while waiting, some people ask the questions, I just see it. Some people say, can we eat, walking and eat? Just like in the night market, I suggest if you visit the night market, don't eat while you are walking. That is not a good idea. Okay. I think most of the people joined the game already. Are you ready? Okay, we are going to start again in 30 seconds. if you haven't joined the game, quickly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, the winner is Jack. Jack, you can get a kiss from Harry. Congratulations. So I hope this is a good, happy ending. And this is our first day for the training, the summer training. Try to get some fun in the quarantine hotels. And I hope you have everything you have in the hotel. Remember what I say, open the window. Any questions, any concern, contact your coordinators. And also Taipei office will try their best to help all of you. Okay, and welcome to Taiwan finally. All right, I think I will keep the time to each side. If you have any questions, you can talk to your coordinators. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.